Hi bosses, and welcome back to the Boss MH channel. My name is Leah and I am a boss registered medical assistant along with a few other titles. If you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and thank you so much for joining us. If you are returning, thank you so much for returning. I know I've been on slight hiatus, guys, but I've just had a lot of stuff going on. I just just moved into my home and I still got a lot more to go. So I apologize for the delay, but I got y'all. You can also follow me on my social media handles at the.boss.ma. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this video. This is the roundtable discussion. This is the Android versus iPhone. I mean, this is the discussion, right? The ACT versus SAT. You know what I'm talking about, guys. The infamous question I've been asked a million times, whether it's at the college I was teaching at from my students or just by working in the field or from you guys in my DMs, or in the comments. It is, should I sit for my CMA or should I sit for my RMA? Does it make a difference? So guys, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So the first thing I'm gonna do, y'all know I always keep my notes here, so I got my notes. The first thing I wanna do is tell you guys that there's actually another dog in the fight. Didn't know if y'all heard, but we have a CMA, we have the RMA, but we also have the CCMA, the clinical certified medical assistant. So I am going to break all three of these subcategories down, and then I'm going to answer that infamous question. So the first one I'm going to tackle is the CCMA. So the CCMA is a certified clinical medical assistant. This is provided to us via NHA, so the National Healthcare Association. So NHA does other certifications like phlebotomy and just different things. You can check out their website. But they also do the clinical certification for a medical assistant. Now, this is nationally accredited, so that's the good news. It's nationally accredited, just like the others. This is a better option if you did not go to school or you did not do a medical assistant program, but you have your high school diploma. This is probably a better option for you because they allow you to take this test if you have at least 1 year of supervised experience as a medical assistant, right? So this will be the best option for you if you want to get certified. Again, I remind y'all that in, I think 2014, per the Bush administration, everybody in the office, when we went to electronic health records, everybody in the office needed to be certified. So if you are not and you want to be and you've been working in this for years, the NHA is probably the place you want to go to try to get certified. You can pay for the test. The cost for the test itself is $155. You have to renew this every 2 years. So you don't have to retake the test every 2 years, but the renewal cycle to keep your certification fresh and current is every 2 years. And it's $55. And then you have to have 20 hours of CEUs. So continuing education units. You have to have those, and that will help you, that will get you your recertification. So you need those 20 CEUs every 2 years, $55. Your initial startup cost is $155 for the test. Now, I'm sure there's some more stuff because NHA does provide practice exams. So if you want to purchase like some additional tools to help you succeed on the test, then obviously that's an additional cost. But if you are currently working and you're like, hey, I want to get certified, I'm not going back to school, I've actually been doing this, then NHA may be your route. So CCMA via NHA, a lot of letters. All right, the second one is our infamous RMA, so registered medical assistant. This is provided to us through AMT, so American Medical Technologists. This is a nationally accredited program as well. You can, this one you do have to go to school for, so you will have to have, I think it's within the last 3 years, I want to say, you have to have graduated or completed a medical assistant program in order to sit for this exam. Now, typically, if you're going to go through your school, then they're going to pay for this exam, whether it be the whatever the exam is. Typically it's CMA versus RMA, but they're going to pay for this exam for you. So you don't really have to worry about cost, but just so you know, it is $120. So if you ever got into a situation where you had to recertify, meaning you fell out of your grace period of turning in those CEUs and all that, and you had to actually pay for it and take the test and sit for the test again, it is $120 to do that. So $120 for the test. It's 3 years. Every 3 years you must, get recertified. It's a $50 annual due. So guys, what the annual dues does, what annual dues are, keep you current, and it keep you having access and discounted rates to those CEUs, so to those continuing education units. So if you're continuously keeping your membership going and your annual dues going, then you're going to get that discounted rate for those CEUs and for the exam and anything else, right? You're also going to get invited to pretty dope events that happen throughout the year. I know COVID kind of like knocked some of those things off and they became virtual events, but they also invite you to participate in annual events, right? So you'll need 30 CEUs for this one. I don't know if I said that, but yeah, 30 CEUs for the RMA. Now we're going to move forward to our number 3, which is the CMA, the regular old CMA. That is a certified medical assistant that is provided to us by the AAMA. So with this one, you want to do, it is $125 for the test. Again, this is typically paid for by your educational sponsor. So whoever you went to school with, they typically want to pay that. It's in your tuition already included, but the base price for this is $125. And yes, you will need to have gone to school. So the only one that you can really challenge without having to have any prior formal education or training is going to be that NHA. But you go $125. It is $30 annual fee. So annually you will pay $30 to keep your membership, but they certify every 5 years instead of the 3 years from the RMA or the 2 years from the NHA. So it is it's a give or take. It depends on how often do you want to go through this process, right? But every 5 years is when they certify, and you have to have 60 CEUs. But even though that's more CEUs than the other ones, it's a longer certification. So you have a longer period of time to actually obtain those continuing education units. And I just want to tell you guys that those are not cheap, especially if you wait till the last minute. I've done that. I think we all have been there. We're like, oh my gosh, I need like 18 more CEUs. And then we try to grab them up. But anyway, these are all 3 nationally accredited, and they're all, okay to get. So the question is always comes out to be, well, should I do RMA? Should I do CMA for the students? Guys, I'm going to be so honest with you. To me,
there is no difference.
I mean, obviously there's a difference by who sponsors it, our AMT versus AAMA or NHA. But as far as the certification itself, y'all, nobody cares. Even with contracting, people are like, well, should I get this one? Will this look better on my resume? Will this look better on my, application or whatever? No one cares. What they care about is that you have some sort of certification that is nationally accredited, and these 3 are nationally accredited. Now, if you get your certification from anything other than these 3, then I cannot say that you're 100% supported in that across the globe, just because I don't know what it is and I'd have to look into it. But I know these 3 for sure are the tried and true go-tos, and they're nationally accredited. So I know that you won't have any problem finding employment, whether it be permanent employment or a contract. It's gonna be a go. Okay, so for those of you wondering, should I get this or that, it's really up to you. Now, I do know that I want to say the CMA's test is said to be a little bit more rigorous. I personally have an RMA. I'm a registered medical assistant, and I say that in all my videos. So I'm registered through AMT. And from my personal experience, I've never had anybody say, oh, we don't want to hire her. We're not going to hire her because she's an RMA and not CMA. Absolutely never, ever even been a conversation. So that goes to let you know it's not a thing. Like I said, it's like the Apple versus Android ongoing fight. But I've heard that test was a little bit more rigorous. I have administered that test on the instructor side, but I haven't actually taken that test. So I can't attest to that at 100%, but I do feel like it was a lot more questions. I want to say it's like 200 and something, whereas like 40-minute segments, 200 so questions or something like that. And whereas the RMA was a little bit more straightforward. To me, it gives me ACT versus SAT. So, you could get into college to, pretty much with either or. And just depending on what you want to sit with, and they would take sometimes the better of the two scores. So if you didn't do so well, so they actually created the ACT, right? So it would be a little bit less rigorous in the SAT, but serve the same purpose. I feel like that same concept kind of happened with the RMA. There is such a need and demand for registered and for certified medical assistants that they had to come up with other certifications aside from the AMA. So I will say the AAMA is the founder, the original, the first to do it, but they're not now the only one. So I haven't seen anybody turn anybody down because they have an RMA. So that should answer your question, guys. You can always look on their websites and find out more information about these specific tests, how much it costs, where the testing sites in your area, and all that good stuff. As always, until next time.